Welcome everybody. So glad that you are here tonight on this Tuesday night. This is definitely a webinar that we've continued to do every week for the last 10 years. So 10 years, goodness gracious, 2 years. So super glad that you're here. Hey, as you're popping on, let me know where you're from. Where are you in the country right now? I'll tell you, I'm in a different place. Normally, I'm in Georgia, but I bought a house in Louisiana, so I am here setting this home up as a vacation rental. But welcome, Brad, over there in Marietta, Georgia. Brad, are you back in town? I know you were in Florida for a little bit. Gordon from Delaware. Shannon, Miss Shannon Johnson's from Philadelphia. Karen and Karl from Massachusetts. Eugene from Chicago, Illinois. John from Rochester, New York. Miss Sandra from Arkansas. Graham and Jenny from Frying, Phoenix. Must be pretty hot there today, I'll tell you. Louisiana is a different type of hot that I thought Georgia was hot, but my goodness, the humidity here is nuts. We got Victor from Bronx, New York. Mr. Samuel from Austin, Texas. Debbie from Maryland. Dave from St. Augustine, Florida. Love St. Augustine. I believe, Dave, St. Augustine, Florida is the oldest city in America, I believe. And if you've never visited St. Augustine, Florida, you have got to go. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. Lots of history. We got Miss Juanita from Paris, Texas. Bill from Sacramento, California. So glad you guys are popping on. Thank you so much. As everybody is getting ready, we'll start getting into what we have to talk about tonight. We've got Steve from Charlotte, North Carolina. He said, yeah, it was incorporated in 1565. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I got some buddies there that own some hotels and a bunch of vacation rentals on the beach there in St. Augustine. We got Michelle from Kent, Washington. Man, we've got everybody all the way from Florida all the way to Washington. That's a big span. So glad to have you on tonight. Well, as I mentioned, I'm actually located tonight in a small town called Port Barre, Louisiana, which is literally sportsman's paradise in the middle of nowhere. If any of you've ever been to Louisiana, it's beautiful in its own way, right? But this house, this is the first time, actually the second time I'm seeing this house since I purchased this home. The last time I was down here visiting family, I wanted to, because my husband's from here, what I wanted to do is I wanted a place for us to stay and then rent it out to people whenever I'm not here, like a vacation rental by owner, because there's a cool lake behind here. Yes, there's gators in the lake, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, but so glad you guys are deciding to join us tonight. Again, we'll get started here in just a minute and let everybody join on. Did everybody have a good 4th of July weekend? I know we took off Monday here at Partner Driven to celebrate the 4th of July too. Everybody have a good time? Shoot some fireworks, have fun with family and friends. Awesome. That is so cool. So glad you're there. I know Karen and Karl had a good time. Yes, Karen and Karl, I have got to book my hotel and room for your wedding. I'm not going to miss it. Just letting you know. So there's my RSVP. Karen and Karl are one of our partners here at Partner Driven, and they invited me to their wedding. So I'm super pumped about going there because I've actually never been to where they live before. So looking forward to that. Oh, John Walker, you celebrated your birthday. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Awesome. Well, guys, what we're going to be talking about today is how to live every day like it's the 4th of July or like it's a holiday, right? Whenever a lot of people will ask me, like when I go out of town, are you working? I'm always working and I'm always on vacation. And real estate has done that for me. And I'm going to explain to you tonight exactly how I was able to get to that spot, how I was able to get there with no experience starting out, and tell you a little bit about the partner driven way, if that's okay. Also, tonight I will be taking some live questions. So you'll be able to come onto this webinar. I'll be able to allow you to speak on here so we can just talk amongst each other and kind of go over some stuff. But first, before I get started, kind of with my story and how I got into this business. If you guys don't mind if I tell you a little bit about Partner Driven, do you? Okay, good. Well, I am a co-creator of a company called Partner Driven Real Estate. We talk to you guys about this every Tuesday night because we have put our heart and our soul into this company. And our entire goal is to work with people just like you across America, realize your dream in real estate investing. And this is how we do it. So, man, for many years, Peter and I, my other counterpart that's usually on this webinar is just not here this evening, we did our own deals. We did deals to the tune of about maybe between 5 and 7 a week. We had multiple offices across the country. I had an entire call center. And we just did deals on our own, for the longest time. And obviously, I love doing deals and I love doing that. But, you know, Peter also ran a coaching company. So one day we decided, well, why don't we just integrate the two? And if we work with people across America to reach their dreams and their goals, we both benefit, right? And then inevitably we'll be able to do more deals simply because there's more people out doing deals. And my goodness, it has taken off. We have had and are having some incredible success. And I promise you, the best is yet to come because we're still growing the teams. We're still looking for more partners. But this is what we do, okay? So number one, we want to show you exactly how to go find deals direct to seller, okay? So when you're learning to do deals direct to seller, there's some things you need to know. How to talk to people, how to pull the list, how to skip trace, how to give them a call, maybe how to do other marketing strategies. We're there to help you understand how to do that. Not to mention, if you are a partner, we give you access to our proprietary app or software called Deal Driven. And if you've not heard about Deal Driven, let me just tell you, it is something amazing. For those of us, or for those of you that did deals and was in this business in the past, it was a lot of work to get the information that you can now just get with a click of a button. So utilizing Deal Driven, you're able to pull leads, okay? So motivated seller leads in your area. We show you how to do that through live daily training calls. And on top of that, we provide the skip tracing. What is skip tracing? Skip tracing is where we go and find the seller's phone number. The reason why people call it skip tracing is, do you know how like somebody skips bail? Well, when someone skips out on bail, the bail's bondsman does what's called a skip trace to find out where that person is. When you are a real estate investor, it's a light version of that. So that's what's called skip tracing. We're essentially just wanting to get in contact with the actual seller of the property. So we're going to give you access to this information that we literally built mostly all for our partners. You can get Deal Driven outside of our Partner Driven model, but here at Partner Driven, we're going to give that to you at no additional charge, along with 1,000. You heard me right, 1,000 skip traces just to get you started every month, okay? Now, it's important that you understand the complete business. So that's why Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we actually do a live daily training call. For every day You can get on live with one of our master coaches, myself, Peter, people from the office like Mary and Laura, and teach you just different things about the business, different ways to find deals, different things within closing processes, live Q&As. On top of that, 12 hours a day, we make our master coaches available for you to be able to schedule one-on-one calls. Okay, let me say that again. 12 hours a day, we make it available for you to schedule one-on-one calls. Why is that important? It's nice to be able to talk to someone who's closed deals before and know and get your questions asked immediately. Or sometimes maybe you already know the answer, but you just want to run it by someone. There is nobody in this industry that gives the amount of support that we do here at Partner Driven, because our entire focus is closing deals with you. And I hope it's okay for me to be selfish and tell you that, because whenever you find a deal, if you need the funds for that deal, guess what? We will actually fund the deal for you, okay, and split profits 50-50. So the more you know how to go out and do this business, the more you know how to find motivated sellers, the better you are at negotiating, using the technology, utilizing what just came out from us is Deal Engine. Now, I know we named all of these softwares kind of the same name, which looking back might have been a mistake, but we also have a proprietary software called Deal Engine. Okay, why is that important? So you're pulling your list, you got the phone numbers, right? So one way to work those leads is to just call straight from there, maybe print it off on a piece of paper and call them. But what if you took that exact same list, placed it into a system for you that calls them for you, that texts them for you, and emails for you on an automated schedule? It's like making you one person turn into 3 or even 4 different people all at the same time. And it's an absolute game changer, just like she said here on this call, because you are able to keep up with your leads, you're able to follow up with your sellers. We do not charge our partners for this program either. Others with similar products just like this charge anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 a month. We absorb some of this cost by building this out ourselves, because again, if you're doing more deals, we're making more money too. So we want to provide you everything we have along with the financing. We're going to be there to help you with the back office stuff. So a lot of times when I see investors getting started in the business, they got a good deal, they find a buyer, and they lose the deal at the closing table, right? There's a lot to learn in this business. We feel that if you spent your time doing things that actually make you money, which is making offers to sellers, right, you're going to be more successful. So we take our back office and they will help you close your deals, like making sure the contract is right, making sure you're inside of your due diligence period correctly, your closing dates correctly, getting it over to the title company and or attorney, understanding different ways to close the deal and getting that done for you. We handle all of that for you here at Partner Driven, because our complete goal, I'm going to say it one more time, is just to do more deals with people like you across America. If you're not a partner now and you're on this call, I really, really suggest that you check this out. I know we've got partners on here right now, and I'm not afraid to say, you could talk to any one of them, via the chat here. And I believe they would vouch for me for everything that I'm saying here for you today. So we're looking for more partners. We want them to be you. Miss Kristen, we have a phone number for people to call, I believe. We'll put that in the chat because I can't remember it. Or you could go to the website. But right now, I have people on standby for you to talk to if you just want to learn more. about, partner driven. And there's a way for you to join partner driven tonight for as little as $300 to $400 a month. That's crazy, right? So all you got to do is call this number 770-746-8585. Again, that number is 770-746-8585. We're looking for more quality partners across America, people that are really wanting to, get to that next level. So now that we got that out of the way, I want to tell you guys a little story about me, if that's okay. And if you don't mind, I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable this evening. This is a hard subject for me to talk about. But there is a silver lining and a good to the end of this story, okay? I shared a little bit of this story at our live event. And I think was it last weekend or the week before? We had our live event 2 weekends ago. And I shared a little bit of this story, but I think that this is going to resonate with a lot of you, okay? So, for years, I worked probably 70, 80 hours a week. Anybody on this call have a work schedule that's that demanding? I know you're out there. And no matter how hard I worked for someone else, I was never making more money. I was making everything for the owners of this company, okay? Built the company up. It was actually a lawn care company. We did fertilization and weed control. Got that company up to about 6,000 clients, which is a lot. Had 22 drivers that did their routes and things like that. And I loved the business. But every night before I would go to bed, I always had this impending feeling inside, like, oh my God, I don't want to go do it again tomorrow. I don't want to go do it again tomorrow. Does anybody feel like that? Or maybe like on a Sunday, you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I got to go to work Monday. I just wish the stay would last longer. I felt like that every day. And I knew that I had to make a change. But what I didn't realize is that investing in myself was the way to do that. Okay. I was nervous. I was nervous about how was I going to feed my family? How was I going to feed my daughter? How are we going to clothe them, get them through school? If I didn't take serious action. Well, few, years go by. I worked there for about 10 years and I had an opportunity. To change my life. It just wasn't the way I thought it was going to happen. Have you ever heard that God has a plan for you, but it's not exactly the plan that you laid out for yourself? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. So, man, all of it in about a couple of months, I quit that job. I went to the doctor because I was feeling so terrible that they wanted to put me on anti-anxiety medicines because I was so anxious every day running this company. And so I just had it and I quit. I didn't care about anything else. I just was not going to feel that way anymore. Okay. And the reason for that is because at the time I was pregnant. Now, mind you, I worked there for 10 years and I made a salary and I made pretty good money, between $70,000 and $80,000 a year. And when I became pregnant, I went to the doctor because I was having some troubles. So they wanted me to only work 20 hours a week until all the numbers got straight. Well, I go to the owners of the company, mind you, again, after working there 10 years, and let them know that, hey, I'm going to have to pull back from this position a little bit because there's a chance that I'm going to lose this child. And you know what they told me? They told me that they were going to have to adjust the money that I was making down to 20 hours a week because I needed to rest to save a child. They wanted to put me on, anti-anxiety medicine. They wanted to do this. And then I lost that child. I ended up losing the baby. So when that happened, I quit. There was no reason for me to stay there anymore if they didn't appreciate what I'd done for them, to me. Well, it was kind of it was a little bit of a domino effect. I ended up getting divorced within that next month or so. I ended up going bankrupt. I had to move to the back of my dad's mechanic shop while my daughter lived down at my parents' house. So even though I wouldn't have chosen that as a path for myself, I was put in a position to make a change. I hope you guys never get put in a position to make a change. At the time, my daughter was younger, and I looked her in the eyes, and I just knew this is not the life I'm going to give her. I'm not going to give her this life. I'm going to do whatever I can do to support myself and my daughter. She's going to go to school. She's going to be able to have, what she desires to move along the path of life. And that's when I chose real estate investing, to start getting in and understanding real estate investing and how that would help me. So with all of that being said, obviously I'm not in that same place right now at all. Okay. But it is a lot of hard work when you're getting started. But I just want to kind of explain to you how I done it. So once I decided to go into this full time, because come on, I done lost everything. It's not like I had anything to lose, right? I was mowing grass to make ends meet. If you've ever heard of scrap metaling, I was going and getting metal and taking it to the scrap yard for $40 and $50 here and there. And at the same time, I was cold calling. I was driving for dollars. I was knocking on doors, whatever I had to do to get a hold of a seller. Because I knew once I got a hold of a seller and then I could go meet them, that I could do a deal with them. And these are all things that you can do right now without having a ton of money. Since then, and this has been about 10 years, I've done a little over 1,700 deals by now. Okay. My point to you is, if you want to live every day or every week like a holiday, at some point, you're going to have to put yourself out there. Take a little bit of a risk, because I promise you, there is nothing more important than investing in yourself. I had different mentors. I learned different parts of real estate. I actually practiced everything I learned, and I took that to heart. So, but why was I able to do that every day? And I'll tell you why. When you understand what your why is, you're going to do whatever you've got to do to make sure that why happened. Okay? For me, my why was my daughter, Taylor. She was my why. She was the reason why I was scared to death to pick up the phone to call a seller and talk to them about buying their home when I didn't know anything about real estate. She was the reason why I didn't have a problem knocking on doors. She was the reason why I stayed up all night long handwriting addresses on envelopes. If you don't know what your why is, it's going to be really hard to get to your end goal. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit kind of what we're doing now, then we're going to take some questions. And if you could put this in the chat. Does everybody know what their why is? Put it in the chat now. I promise you, if your why is strong enough, you will not fail. You will not fail when you know what your why is. Drew says his kids. Michelle, your 4 children, understand families, retirement. Those are to learn. I learn more all the time. You know, guys, you can't fail when you put your wife first. So you really got to break this business down to understand how you can get to that end level. Aaron says family. Jamie says freedom. Absolutely. What real estate has done for me is it has given me more time back. 10, 11 years ago, I would have thought it would have been the craziest thing in the world to buy a house in Louisiana. And by the way, I've gotten remarried to a wonderful husband named Brian, who's from Louisiana. It would have blown my mind for the idea that I could buy something somewhere else, okay, and be able to come here whenever I want to be able to work from wherever I want to, and to be able to afford it. That's what I want from you guys. So how did I do it? Like we talked about, I, did driving for dollars. By the way, a lot of us aren't willing to do driving for dollars. Do you know how I found this house in Louisiana? I was here 3 months ago for a family reunion. I was here for 3.5 days. I went driving for dollars. I skip traced all of the houses on my list, and I cold called sellers here in Louisiana on this particular lake that I'm on. I was able to buy this house, owner finance, not even through a bank, through the seller, owner finance. And I'm now, it's just a regular old little house. I've got to redo the kitchen. Here's a living room, just got some furniture in. I've only been here a couple of days. But when you know how to find deals, you can pick up and go anywhere in the country. I was able in 3 days to find a deal. Why? Because I went back to what I did when I first got started. I got in my car. Used to, I'd have to write all the addresses down, come back, go to the tax records, look everything up. Now, with the power of the Deal Driven app, I literally just drove down the road and was like, yep, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one. And then I sit here and cold called 100 addresses. Could you call 100 people to find a deal? Do you think that's too much work? I know you can, Kristen. I know all of you can. If you're doing driving for dollars, for about every 80 to 100 properties that you call, which by the way, we show you this in the training, you will find a deal. So if you really know what your end goal is and your why is big enough, you're going to be able to do it. You've just got to put the work in first. Okay. And we have so many tools now to help us. You've got so many tools now in your tool belt to make things more efficient, like Deal Engine and like Deal Driven. Also, writing down your why and writing down, here's another thing I did, is I wrote down how much I needed to make a month to live comfortably. For me, back then, it was $3,000 a month. I knew if I made $3,000 a month, I could, not great, but I could support my daughter. We could eat. I could pay for somewhere to rent. So I took a little Post-it note and wrote $3,000 a month. I put it on my mirror in the bathroom. I put it on my refrigerator. I put it in my vehicle. Then once I reached that, I changed it to $7,500 a month. Okay. So I removed all my sticky notes. Then I went to 7,500. Then I went to 15,000. You know what my goal is now? 83.3. If I can make $83,000 a month, That's $1 million in a year. And I'll tell you, I've been able to accomplish that with real estate investing. But again, knowing your why and keeping it in front is what's going to get you there. And not making excuses. Excuses don't pay the bills, do they? So my question to you is I'm going to ask everybody that's on this call right now, what's your magic number that you have right now that would get you out of your full-time job and get you successfully doing this business full-time? And I'll tell you the numbers you have to get to do that. And don't be afraid to put it in the chat, guys. Let's play along. I would love to hear what your numbers are. Nothing's too big, nothing's too small. Again, remember, I started with $3,000 a month. So, John, you want to make $500,000 a month? Well, good. That's a big goal. Good job there. We got 6,000. We've got 4,000. We've got 10,000. 5,000, 8,000, 10, 85,000 a year. If we break it down to the months, all right, then you're not looking at such a big goal. Shannon, that's a good point, Shannon. She says 90% of all millionaires became through owning real estate. More money has been made in real estate than all industrial investments combined. So the reason I particularly like real estate the most is because there's no limit to the amount of money that you can make in real estate. Now, that doesn't mean it's a get-rich-quick scheme and it's not a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but you get paid handsomely for the work that you do. So how do we get to these $10,000 a month, $15,000, $8,000, $3,000 a month? Tell you how. One wholesale deal is going to average you, even with splitting profits with us, somewhere between $7,500 and $15,000. One deal. So quit looking completely at your end goal. Your only goal should be closing a deal a month. A deal a month. What do you have to do to close one deal a month? What do you have to do to close one deal a month? I just told you one earlier, another strategy. I said, go driving for dollars and call 100 people. Right? There's one. Lots of calls, maybe sending out letters, maybe doing, door knocking, putting out signs. The old ways of doing things are not antiquated. Okay? So once you reach that one deal a month, which I think I'm kind of in there for a lot of you, for what you're looking to do a month, you're looking at 1 or 2 deals a month. If you look at it that way, what you'll realize is your goal is really not as hard as you thought it was. First, focus on closing 1 deal a month. You can do this utilizing your deal engine and your deal driven. Be willing to do what others aren't willing to do. Did I watch TV at nighttime when I came home from cutting the grass? Cutting people's lawns or taking off scrap metals? Did I come veg out on the couch and watch TV for 2 or 3 hours and waste my time away? No. When I got home from getting the money I had to get by, I come home and I worked on this business. I came home and I worked on this business until that's the only thing I ever was going to work for. Now, it doesn't matter where I'm at. As long as I've got good internet, I can do my business from here. I'm doing deals in Georgia right now and I'm not even there. And you better believe, because it's just part of me, I'm going to be doing deals here in Louisiana too. It just so happens one of our partners lives right down the road from me. So I'm going to go back the old fashioned way. I've already got signs ordered. I've already been building lists, and I've just been here since Sunday. Today's Tuesday, and it was 4th of July. Once you know how to do this, you never, ever, ever stop doing it. But it's not as hard as you think. You just got to break it down and understand what your goals are each and every month. And I will tell you, at Partner Driven, this is exactly what we focus on every day, is taking action. Taking action. So, I appreciate you guys being on with me this evening, listening to my story. As I said before, at that point, I went through a lot in my life, but I was going to have to make a decision on when I was going to change the way I was doing things. Maybe I was forced to. I guess I could have found another job, a high paying job, but I didn't want to feel like that again. But don't be forced to make that decision. Make that decision on your own. Okay, so if you guys want to chat here or have something to say or a question, anything, raise your Zoom hand, okay? Raise your Zoom hand. And once you raise your Zoom hand, I can allow you to talk and you can come on. If anybody wants to share some experiences where they are right now, we all are in the same place, guys. Oh, you can raise your hand, Gordon, in a webinar. It's down there on the bottom. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take the first one on. It takes about 10 seconds for it to. Aaron, come on. If I said that name correctly, I asked you to unmute yourself. Just unmute yourself and you'll be live.
Yes, hello.
You there, Aaron? Hey, how's it going?
Yes, ma'am. I'm glad that you guys host these calls every week. What I want to know is, what is your as far as motivated sellers, what is your favorite list as far as motivated homeowners?
Okay, so
Support.
right now there's two options, okay? Number one, I'm going heavily after pre-foreclosures right now because there's 3 million Americans in pre-foreclosure. Okay. Right now, the moratorium on foreclosures just got pushed back to the end of July.
Okay.
You would be
with high equity?
Yes. So I do pre-foreclosures with at least 40% equity or more.
Okay.
Then I'm picking your single family home, townhomes, duplex, triplexes, and quads, as well as row houses if you live somewhere that has row houses.
Okay. I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Oh my, you need to pull it now, Aaron. I checked Tampa, Florida the other day. There are 560 people right now, 20 miles around the city center of Tampa. That is the exact list I'm telling you about. And these people are going to lose their homes, or the bank's going to eat up every bit of their equity. So we can help people while helping ourselves.
Okay.
You just pull that. You can pull that list on Deal Driven. Download them, skip trace them, and send them a letter.
Okay.
That's a great question. My next favorite list, if you don't mind me saying, is a vacant, non-owner occupied, out-of-state owner with at least 40% equity or more. That means someone has a house there that they don't live in, and they actually live in a different state with equity. That's a really good motivated seller list too.
How many years of ownership?
2 years or more.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, Aaron.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Joe Church, I'm going to allow you to talk. Just take yourself off mute, dear. If you would just unmute yourself. Joe Church. Okay, we're going to go down to Karen and Karl.
Hey, Julie.
What's up?
Not much. I was listening to your story and I was thinking, and my why, my why is a treatment center. I do not want another person to die from alcohol and drug addiction. So my why is to open up a treatment center. That's the whole reason why I got into the real estate investing business. Um, you know, over the weekend, I was talking to somebody today, and they were doing some research and everything because I asked them to so I could have numbers so when I go to try to get help to open up a treatment center. And when I seen him, he came to me and he says, one person every 4 hours or every 2 hours in America dies for alcoholism and drug addiction. One every
One
two,
person every
2 hours. And I just sat there. I had to fight back the tears because I know what it's like to be an alcoholic and drug. I know what it's like to be there. And I also know what it's like to come up and out of it, and
well, and I'm glad you did, Karl.
I turned around and I said to him, I says, it takes one person to turn around and go over to the person and say, I got your back. I can help you. So when you were talking and you were talking about scrapping and stuff like that, I've done the same exact thing. Just winter, I was doing Instacarts because I was out of work because of my knee. And I was giving cards out. I stood out in the cold and 10-degree weather, froze Karen out of the car because I left the door open for a half an hour with a guy trying to talk to him and everything. And he actually he told me he'd contact me in the spring after all the snow melt. He did contact me. He says, I love it up here. I want to stay the summer. I'll call you in the fall. So, I mean, it's...
Well, way to build your pipeline, Karl.
Huh?
I said, way to build your pipeline.
I know, but, and then you were talking about it's not easy, it's not hard. Just a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we had four under contract. On a Thursday, we lost one. Friday, we lost one. Saturday, we lost one. Sunday, we lost one. And I was ready to quit. I said, I was so upset. I turned around. I said, that's it. I looked at Karen. I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. I cannot do this. And she goes, you're not going to quit. You're not going to give up on your dream. Monday morning, Mary called me and talked to me and told me, I have Karen. You go back to work. I got Karen. I got Karen's back. We're going to take care of this. And she has, so it's not easy, but it's worth it. Put your why the first and foremost thing. I do. As Karen can tell you, my kids can tell you, I'll tell them no. I'm going to drive for dollars. I'm going to do this. I moved somebody. I went and moved a washer and dryer for somebody. Every time I help somebody, on our way down to Georgia a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, I met this little old lady, went to try to buy her house. It wasn't going to work out for us. But the thing she kept saying to me is, I just want someone to clean my windows. On our way to Georgia, I looked at Karen. I says, I get back, I'm calling that lady. I'm going to go wash her windows. We pull into the motel room. We're sitting in the motel room in the lobby waiting to be able to check into our room. Karen gets a text. Did you get my email? I signed a contract.
Wow.
I believe we got that contract because I said I was going to call that lady and go wash her windows. I did call her. She was able to get a friend of her son's came over and did it for her. But I would have gone over and washed the windows because I've been shown, and it's happened all the time. Every contract that I've had is always because I've gone and I've got outside myself and helped somebody else. So
You know what, Karl, and Can I tell you another reason why you're not going to quit? Because ain't none of us going to let you.
Yes.
Is the day that you're on a webinar like this, or the day that you're on stage, because you know we have the live events, you're going to give your story, and your story is going to inspire others to know that they can do it.
They can.
Your story is going to inspire people to get off drugs and alcohol because of what you're putting in there. So I can go ahead and vouch for everybody on this call. We're all here rooting for you, Karl. And whenever, you know, like what you're talking about doing with these sellers, when you help others first, you're always gonna be helping yourself, and things will come back to you tenfold. So thank you so much for that story, Karl. I know everybody on this wanted to hear that, and I'm rooting for that treatment center. You get your it up and running. I will be donating to that treatment center.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Every month.
Thank you so much.
All right, and thank you, Miss Karen. I know she was in the background.
I
am. All right, let's see who's next. And by the way, the reason I'm able to bring you on, this is different than you've ever seen us do it before, but I wanted you to hear from other people tonight, not just myself. So let's see who is next. I've got James. If you will, you are able to talk now. You just have to unmute yourself, which should be on the left-hand bottom side of your screen. If you will unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. What's up, James?
Hey, what's going on? I just had a few questions about the app, like working with the app. Because I think, I mean, from what I see, I think I've located like some good properties. But I just want to understand a little bit more about like the value, like for example, like, and everything that I found, like the lowest amount of equity that I found, it has 377,400 in equity, and that's the lowest one that I found, and the highest is like almost $1 million in equity. But the question that I have, like for example, there's one, all right, this one says valuation $10,194. It says last sale 147,000, and it says equity 920,442. So like what does that mean in terms of like the valuation only being $10,000?
Would you mind sharing this address with me? And I'll show you.
Okay. 96.
Give me just a second, sweetie. Give me just a second. Okay, 97.
No, 96. 96 Holmes Ave, HOMES Ave, Dorchester, Mass. Yep, that second one.
Okay. So you got this on a vacant property list?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so this is a triplex, not a single family home.
Okay. So we only want single family homes.
You can do it. You can do a triplex. The problem is let me tell you why you're having a hard time. Duplex, triplexes, and quads are considered commercial.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So sometimes they're hard to comp out. So when you're looking at the value of, if you're looking at what the value is on a triplex, you're going to be looking at what type of cash flow they're getting every month. So when you go to call Greta here, who by the way looks like she lives in part of it and then rents out the other two pieces, I believe, the other 2 units. You'd be wanting to ask how much a month is she getting in rent? And
Okay.
a lot of times your values are going to be based off of what the cash flow is on a property like this, minus what some of the fees are for maintenance, taxes, insurance, things like that. If you are a partner,
Yes.
are you if you're a partner, what I would suggest is you are, James, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Schedule a call with the master coaches
Mm-hmm.
when you cold call her and you ask for that. Also, when you're talking to a seller, you're going to ask also, how much are you getting in rent? And are the tenants on a month-to-month lease or are they on a yearly lease? And if they are on a yearly lease, when does the lease expire? When you get that information, what we can do is we can help you determine what that's worth and what your offer price should be.
Okay.
You just
Um,
found a hard one.
yeah, no, it was just that was just one, like in the list. Like I was actually just looking in a certain area and I clicked on it.
Yeah.
But when I saw those numbers, I was like, I don't know. It's like this looks like this could,
No,
could be something
it
there,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I
It
was so
doesn't.
confused.
Oh
Like
yeah, I don't blame you.
and there's another one where it says the valuation is 800,000. Well, the valuation is the same as the equity, but it says the last sale was 91,000. And this is one that I've actually seen, like I've been by there. I couldn't really tell if anyone was living there or not. But I was thinking to go by there, like you said, just like knock on the door. Like that was something I hadn't thought about, like knocking on doors, because I've skip traced a few and some of them didn't bring me anything back. So I was thinking like, what's the next step? Like, would that be to just go knock on the door, just send them some mail? But I mean, just being more proactive.
Them. Yeah, call them if you're in the area, knock on the door, maybe send them a letter with a handwritten envelope. That'll increase your chances. On that one, if the equity is the same as the valuation, it means they don't owe anything,
Okay.
is what that means.
So basically, like that's just like, so like for example, it says the last sale. That's what that person bought it for, and now what I'm seeing is what it's worth now. Because that's one
Yeah,
thing too.
exactly.
Like
They could have paid cash for it, or they could have already paid off the mortgage.
okay, because that's one thing now too that like where I'm at, like in this area, like Dorchester and Boston, like there's a lot of people who've owned their houses for a long time, and now like these houses, are now $1 million houses and stuff like that. So I think a lot of it has to do with that too. It's just like, because a lot of the sales too are from a long time ago. Sales aren't really recent.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you people that's owned something for a long time have a lot of equity left in there. So that's what it's for.
Mhm.
But when you have like a tricky deal like that, don't ever be afraid to schedule a call with our master coaches.
Yes.
And then we'll go over those comps with you. But thank you for coming on.
Yes, yeah, I just had a question about that, so I definitely had to ask.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see here. We'll go to Coachy Samuel. Let me allow you to talk. If you'll unmute
Hello,
yourself.
Julie. I did. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I just have a question on the pre-foreclosure. Is it easier to work with the ones that are vacant or the ones that are owner occupied?
Well, if they're vacant, I would say they're easier because you're going to be able to show it a lot better, right? Or you're going to be able to get your inspections done, but they're both worth going after. Because if they
Okay.
foreclose, these people are going to have to move either way.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm working on one that I get a response from on Deal Engine, and so I'm trying to figure out which is what to do here. So
Yeah,
cross my fingers,
absolutely.
I guess.
And sometimes you're going to see a lot of investors in pre-foreclosure because they hadn't been getting rent money for over a year sometimes.
Right.
you know, and they still have mortgage payments to pay, and it's really hard for them to do so. I think I need to change the battery in the, sorry, in the fire
Thank you.
alarm here. Yes, thank you so much, Coachy. Thank you for that question. But I'd go after both, but the vacant would be easier. Probably gonna need more work though. Awesome, awesome. All right, Shannon Johnson. If you will unmute yourself, hun.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, good, Shannon. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I have it in mind what I want to say, but I also want to give a shout out to that gentleman in Dorchester, Massachusetts. That's right next to Roslindale, isn't it? And anyway, he doesn't have to answer, but
Yes, it is.
Rossi
It is. I know that area. Yes.
yeah, Rossie's where I worked at Dunkin' Donuts there, and then I started an accounting service there. Anyway, it is a great melting pot, and I love Roslindale. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So you understand what
going
I'm saying
south.
about, but you understand about what I'm saying about the properties, how like a lot of the values are just like
Oh
shooting
yeah,
up,
oh yeah,
you know?
definitely. Everything's $1 million in Boston, but that's the way it's going to be in Philadelphia. Anyway, my comment is this: systems, procedures, controls. McDonald's has fries on the right, Cokes on the left. There's a system, you know this system in every McDonald's you go into. Well, there's a system, a procedure, and a control already done for you with partner driven. So to anybody who's on the fence, do not be on the fence. There's just no sidelines. You got to participate in the game in order to win. Otherwise, you're just auditing a course. This is an education. It's a process. It's a journey. I love Karl and Karl's journey with his why. It's quitters never win, winners never quit. And that's the mantra I used for when I was running track. And that's just the way you have to be. Just know that everything you have coming full circle, you can use in this business. And that's pretty much everything. Is just gonna, anybody who's in this now, you're just about to, it's just about to reach a precipice with this moratorium being lifted. And everybody's going to be calling you if you call them back and follow it up. But I just love this business, and you don't have to go fast. You just got to be consistent. Be an accountant, be consistent, and fall forward. There's never a mistake. And I love Karl's, this fell through, this fell through, this fell through. It gives me scenes from coming attractions, but knowing that if mine falls through, it wasn't meant to be. You know what I mean? Like if anything falls through, and then you could fall back on calling them back, just like Mary did. She works hard for the money, that's for sure. Anyway, you've got a winning team here, Julie, and you definitely are. I mean, to get to Julie's level, all we got to do is just do what Julie did. You got with the right people, you got in a partner, and everything's paid for. My mother taught me how to live my life. It's like, if you need it, don't use your own money to buy it. But if you have to use your own money to buy it, make sure it's tax deductible. Well, guess what? Partner driven, tax deductible. and then once you're in it, Peter's got your nut. He's got the whole system already set up so that you don't have to spend another dime buying a property or losing money. That's another great thing about partner driven. They are the biggest safety net. You cannot fall. Even if you fall off the balance beam, they've got you covered. You're on the, they've got the biggest net. So anyway, that's my story.
Well, Shannon, thank you so much. Like I mean, you're part of the best thing about partner driven. We're building an army ourselves, and it's not just me and Peter. It's people like you. It's people like James. It's people like Karen and Karl that just spoke. We can build what we want to build. That what was that movie where they said, if you can dream it? What was that, Field of Dreams, where if you build it, they will come. So I appreciate everything you said. I want to see if I'm missing anybody. All right. Jamie Caldwell, if you will, unmute yourself, sweetie. Jamie, unmute yourself. Jamie?
Hey, this is Bruce. Can you hear me?
I can, Bruce.
I just got a notification to either unmute that I was asked to unmute. Maybe you hit. Did you want me to speak, or did you try? Or you maybe need to hit Jamie? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. She's unmuted, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. Unless you have something.
Oh my God, do I have something? I feel like, if heaven kissed the earth, I got caught in the middle of the smack. I am not a partner here. This is my first time joining. I spoke with Jamie about 5:30 this afternoon, and she told me I need to get on this call, and boy, was she right. I am very excited about what you guys are doing, and I'm looking forward to joining. I am. This is exciting. I mean, I'm down here in Port St. Lucie, Florida, okay? And I can see, I mean, from what I can tell, it's wild down here. I'm from Texas. I was born in Texas, grew up there. I know Texas like the back of my hand. I've been in Florida for about 3-4 years now as well. I bounce back and forth, but I am very, very, very excited about the opportunity here. And I have a daughter who's in real estate in Dallas, Texas. She's a realtor in Dallas, and she's doing well. She's been doing it for a few years. And I'm really excited about joining up with this group right here and becoming a partner. I'm excited, and I'm thankful to God for this place right now.
Well, thank you, Bruce. That really means a lot. And hey, man, I look forward to seeing you on the other side of the deal.
It won't be long.
No, it won't. And and let me tell you, you are in a prime market. When you get started, really pull your pre-foreclosures there and start calling them. Florida is going to have a huge need here in the next couple of months.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I'll just show everybody here. You live in Port St. Lucie, right?
Yes.
I'm going to go pull a list and show you. I know we're running over a little bit, guys, but for those of you that are partners, you should be seeing this yourself. Am I spelled? Yeah. But if not, I want you to know how to use Deal Driven. Okay. So I'm going to do are you seeing my screen, Bruce?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to pull a search around the city center here, 20 miles of Port St. Lucie. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm going to select my search type, and I want pre-foreclosures.
Okay.
So you've got 272 of them there. Let's go do some more. I want to pick townhouses, condos, duplex, triplex, quads, and row houses. Okay.
Okay.
I want to have at least 40% equity or more. There are 95 people right here in your town that are going to lose their house back to the bank that have $40,000 in equity. Do you think they're ever going to make that money back from the bank?
No.
We can literally go buy their home prior to them losing it back to the bank and put a little bit of money back into their pocket so they're able to move on to the next stage of their life, as well save their credit
Okay.
because foreclosures on your credit report for 7 years, which is like a scarlet letter. So
Right.
when you become a partner, you'll see all these trainings we have every day, and you'll see how to pull these lists. But I used to go to the county records office to get this information, and I'd have to go through them all one by one. You can do this now in a couple of seconds.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. I love it.
So I'm going to show you how quick. So I just created this new list in Port St. Lucie.
Okay.
Give me just a second. It just needs a second to populate. Now it's ready. Boom. That's everybody. Watch this. You'll be able to click this button, and when you're a partner, you press free skip, and within 24 to 48 hours, you'll have everybody's phone number. I'll show you the power by paying for it on here.
Okay.
But essentially, you'll see this. It's still running in the background. But what it's doing is it's going and finding everybody's name, their phone numbers, and their email addresses.
Mm-hmm.
It's still running. It'll be done here in 45 seconds. You can go in. You can see who owns the property, how many bedrooms and bathrooms. See, look at this person. They owe $86,000. Their house is probably 300.
Okay.
They're going to lose this house over 86,000, and it's worth 300.
Wow.
That's everybody sick to the stomach a little bit. It does me.
Right.
And and if you see, there's 93 or 95 of these.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I can't wait for you to be. Anytime someone tells me they're a new, going to be a new partner, I'm like, well, you got to do this and you got to do this.
Right. Right. I need mentoring. I need help. I need people like you in my life. Okay. I'm straight up with you. I work hard. Let me tell you something. I know how to work, and I can work hard. I can put in the hours. I need somebody that can guide me.
Well, so we'll definitely be here. We've got a whole staff ready to help you every day.
Okay.
But I look forward to it, Bruce. Thank you so much.
Do you know if you have anyone in this area now as a partner?
We have people in that area. I can't think of their name, but I mean, a city's big enough for lots of work. But when you join, you'll be able to join our private Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Because I suggest find out the partners that are near you and go have little meetings on your own.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like an accountability group.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's another wonderful thing you can do with partners, because we don't stop our partners from talking to each other. We have nothing to hide here. So.
Sure. Okay. I'm excited. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Bruce. Have a good night.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I've got. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take one last call here. I'm not on the radio. I guess one last Zoom. All right. Miss Ann Bailey from Fairbanks, Alaska. Unmute yourself. You there, Miss Ann? Ann. And you're unmuted. So if you talk, we can hear you. Well, all right. Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to get Ann on this evening. I met her a couple weeks ago in person at our live event. But hey, guys, if you're wanting to learn more about being in our partner-driven program, you've heard from several people, on this call that are doing it. We want more partners like you, to help build our teams out. And if you would like to speak to us tonight, and see what everything's all about, then all you've got to do is call this number. Let me find it. I don't ever remember these phone numbers. 770-746-8585. And hey, will everybody do me a favor? Remember how I told you about putting your monthly goal in a sticky note and placing it everywhere. Do it. It's the
Yes.
presence of mind. Do it. It's not silly
All right.
to look at your goal every day, you know?
All right.
Okay, all right. Well, y'all have a blessed evening. I hope the best for everybody. I hope you have an awesome week, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.